Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Dutchmen Discussions. I'm Mike Freeman, Director of Athletic Communications, and today we welcome Melissa Byler, LVC's head track and field coach and the director of the Arnold Sports Center. Today we'll discuss how this past winter's MAC Indoor Championships went, how the team coped with missing its outdoor season, and a look ahead to the incoming class. So we hope you enjoy head track and field coach Melissa Byler. Okay, we are now joined by head LVC track and field coach Melissa Byler. Melissa, really appreciate you coming on here. How's everything going? How have you been?
Good. Great to see you, Mike. Doing well. Just kind of, living a new norm. I have the opportunity. I'm still able to go in and I work from campus on Tuesdays once a week, which is nice. So other than that, I've been working from home and kind of getting used to that schedule. And, it's challenging because when we came home, that was in the midst of our crazy time of our season. And then students are home and you're trying to help them deal with change and adversity. And then, you're dealing with it yourself and your family is going through it. So just trying to be there for everybody as much as you can and try to be aware of what's happening. So doing well though.
Good. Glad to hear it. So the first question I have is kind of, recruiting has changed for everybody throughout the entire country. So specifically your team, how has it changed now that you can't really, have prospective student athletes on campus?
Sure. Our class that's coming in for this fall, we had pretty much completed that. And I think, we still had some trickle in after we were sent home from campus, so have been more focused, especially on next year's fall class, the 21-22 class. One thing I have recognized, I think students are more engaged because they're also at home. And I think they're, limited. They're not getting as much contact from people. So I've been making sure that, we're sending out texts and emails and phone calls, and we've done some Zoom meetings and trying to also engage parents just so they get to know us and our program and our campus. I feel really fortunate. Last year we had made a push and we had invited more juniors to campus last year. So what's been great about that is we have a great core group that's already been to campus, which is refreshing because I think our campus sells itself. I love when we get recruits that can come and visit campus because it's beautiful. And I think our students and our staff are so engaging. So I'm glad that we had a core group that has already been on campus. I think it's a little bit more challenging right now to sell when they can't see the product in person. So we're still going to, be diligent, engage with them as much as we can and as frequently as we can, and hope that, sometime hopefully in the fall we can bring, individual tours to campus, and we're doing our best. We're trying to, recruit. We've opened up that spectrum a little bit to include talents that maybe we would have not in the past. I think it's hard if you're a spring sport coach, those high school students also didn't get their spring sport. So you're not sure how they would have developed. So it's kind of taking some of those things into consideration and understanding that they didn't have a season to progress and get better. And, you also don't want them to lose the passion for the sport. So just, reminding them, all the great things about it and making sure that we're continually engaging with them.
Yeah, I think you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but even now social media it's huge regardless of this pandemic. But right now, since nobody can, they can't just go to LVC and take a tour, I think social media is huge. And, we don't usually gain many followers on, Twitter and Instagram around these months like May, June, July, August, but we've just been gaining a ton just because they're trying to, it's the only way they can see it. So it's pretty interesting that, people go that route. It's pretty cool.
We've been trying, one of my coaches does our Instagram and our social media pages. So him and I have chatted a bunch of times, and he's been super creative. And I think that our current student athletes have gotten really engaged with it, but we've made sure that we contacted alumni and recruits to make sure that they're continually seeing messaging from us and kind of letting them, we just did a get to know the coaches series. And I think it was good for them to kind of see us and kind of, what our student athletes say about us and make it personalized because they're not getting that opportunity to come to campus. So, but I agree. Social media has been an amazing resource for us right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. You also mentioned this before as well, but can you kind of, um, talk about you put together a lot of solid performances at MAC Indoors last year at Alvernia. Um, it was pretty amazing to see. I was there both days trying to take pictures, and there's so much going on at once. And I don't know how you have several coaches that do that coach different events, but it was amazing to see how many events go on at the same time, and you were running around the whole time trying to see everybody. But can you just talk about how both the men and women did, and how you think they'll do moving forward?
Sure. And my goodness, that seems so long ago, even though it's
It
really
does.
not that long ago. It's like another world from here. Um, I think we did a great job. I think, right now our men's team, we have a really strong men's team, but needed another year to kind of develop. We were kind of, it's unfortunate we kind of missed that spring season to develop for outdoors. I think our ladies, we have kind of a mix right now. We have some event areas that we focused strongly on of getting recruits just to kind of have a complete team. And I think that we have that moving forward. We do. We have, I think what I love about our team, not just our culture and our environment, is it's a supportive atmosphere. So I feel like my student athletes, we have a lot of different ability levels, and it shows when we're at like large meets like that. We have some clear studs that, show up and, place in multiple events. But I feel that, they're super supportive of our students, that their goal is to qualify for the championship meet, and teammates aren't missing that opportunity to see them compete. I think that's what continues to make us stronger as a team. So it was exciting. I think we had some amazing performances, but then there's other people that didn't get on the podium that had incredible performances too for their ability level. So, it's always exciting to celebrate like all those successes for all of our individual student athletes. I think it was challenging, because track and field, we're that one sport that has like that double season. You end indoor, and then the next Monday, that next day you're starting your outdoor season. And, we had a couple of days of the outdoor season, and then we unfortunately were kind of sent home. So I think the indoor season did a great job of setting us up for the outdoor season that we were hoping to have. I think that I'm really excited about my team. I think my captains, the outgoing captains, and then we already have our captains in place for next year, are doing a really good job of continuing to motivate our students to stay active on their own. When they went home, we still did give them workouts to do through the spring to make sure that they were getting that part of the season's workouts that they really needed. We have kind of different phases throughout the year of what the focus is. So I think that, them missing a season, I think, was emotionally extremely challenging. So making sure that we're aware of that, and then the other challenges that they have with going to virtual learning and seniors graduating, so they miss that last opportunity to compete. Lots of emotions going on, trying to balance those, for the team, but looking towards the future. We want to be successful, and we want to set ourselves up for, great success as a team moving forward. Anxious about our team. I think, men's team, like I said, is really strong. This coming season, the following season should be unique years for us. I think that, we had, especially in our throwing event area for our men's, was kind of an emptier area. So we diligently focused on recruiting students that are in that event area coming in. So we're excited that we're adding a bunch of men to that area. I think that'll kind of complete what we have on the men's side. The women is a mix. We have some great people coming in some event areas. Both teams on paper should be better next year than they were this year. I think it's more of us continuing to keep them motivated and engaged, because they didn't have that spring opportunity to compete, and making sure that they missed that's a season not just to compete, but to develop, that they're still, staying on top of things and ready to go for when we can.
Yeah, I tried to. You can't really do it, but I tried to put myself in the student athletes' shoes. They're about to get ready for their spring season. All of a sudden, nope, like, bye. You guys got to go home. So I just felt so bad for them. It was really devastating, and I hope that, like you said, they're doing all the workouts and they're getting better. So you can't really do anything about it. You just gotta kind of accept it.
Right.
And then, like you said, you're bringing in some new players, and you have some returners last year. Carrie Jones and Lauren Wick. they were incredible. Cross country went to NCAAs, and then Carrie won gold at the indoor max. You kind of talk about them, and how do you see them progressing next year?
Sure, absolutely. And I think with obviously everybody has their fingers crossed, hoping for our fall sports seasons. We do have a lot of student athletes on the track and field roster that are fall sport athletes. I think mentally and physically that will play into, what happens in winter and spring track. Obviously cross country, that's time for our distance runners to continue to develop. We have some football players. I have some soccer players. We're hoping that they have those opportunities because that's something that they're strong about, and we know that they'll be ready to compete. I think if they have that normal kind of fall that they're used to having. So I think that kind of plays into a role about where they're able to develop in that off season. We do have some people that, sometimes, even though this is a challenging time, it's been a blessing for others. We do have some PT students and some grad students that will have that year of eligibility. They won't lose that year of eligibility. So this is a really good time for them to kind of regroup. Carrie and Lauren are both physical therapy majors. That gives them that time to regroup because we didn't have that spring and be successful at a later time, when they're able to make up that semester, which is exciting for those students that do that. So anxious to see where they're at. We did have some injuries. So I think those people that this gives them time to recover, not such a bad thing. But we do have some individuals that I'm really excited about where their season will be. Because they're ready to go. They're excited, and so fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I just want to get things started. Like you said, I was last on campus for a softball game in the middle of March, and it feels like it was 3 years ago.
I know.
It's crazy. But hey, Melissa, I want to thank you. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it, and hope you stay safe, and I hope we see each other soon.
Hopefully too. Stay well, Mike.
Thanks, you too. See you.
You bet. Bye-bye.
We'd like to thank Melissa Byler for joining us on the second episode of the Dutchmen Discussions. Next week, we have 3 different interviews scheduled, so it's sure to be a packed week. Hope everybody has a safe 4th of July weekend, and go Dutchmen.